Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Edge. This is the weekly reset vendor video. Today is July 8, 2025. Sorry about last week. I totally got into the 5x XP and didn't even realize I didn't make the video until like Saturday. So I highly apologize, but we'll get right back into doing these every week. But without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. As always, we're looking for the stuff that is the most important that I think you should get. I'm gonna skip over everything else. But without further ado, we'll get right into it. Starting here in the White House, we have the Prophet. Personally, not a fan of this weapon, even though it has the perfect determined. Personally, I like the D50 better. So D50 with determined is the way that I would go. But if you need this for proficiency, this is definitely one to grab. Other than that, see if we've got anything else decent here. That would be a no. So just a Prophet if you need it for proficiency sakes. And we'll jump over here to the countdown vendor, see what we got going on. We got the mop. Definitely grab one of these if you don't need it. If you don't have it, has that perfect armor on kill that you can only get with weapons like this one. And you can change that talent to pretty much anything that you might want. Personally, I think I use mine. Yeah, I have mine with flatline. So I use it with like a spotter build. We got Closer with armor regen and health, perfect spotter. Probably gonna pass that, and Darkness. To me, is one of the weakest guns in the game, but that's just me. Jump over here to the clan vendor, and then we'll start jumping around to the settlements. Then the Dark Zone, Haven for the two vendors, and then Brooklyn for our last vendor. As for the clan vendor, we got new reliable. Grab that just for proficiency. Skip it for anything else. Max reload if you need that for your shotguns. This would be an interesting chess piece to have. It already has skill damage and status effect, which is what I would say is perfect. You could change that talent to glass cannon. You could change it to kinetic momentum. Definitely some different options there that you can use. So definitely worth grabbing one. And yeah, definitely got some variations that you can use with this one. But that is it for here. So we will jump on over to. We'll start over in campus and see what we got going on over here. And over here in the campus, we've got the Forge with shield and armor regen. Perfect. Grab this, roll the skill tier to an armor core, and this is perfect for a tank build, especially like a foundry. So it has that shield health that is very beneficial, but you can roll it to armor and have another 170,000 armor on it as well. So definitely would grab one of those for sure. Super valuable piece there. But unfortunately, that is probably going to be about the only thing here. And we will jump over to. Let's go down to the castle settlement. And we're going to jump to this pilot. And then we'll have just a really quick walk over to the vendor. And we'll see what we got going on over here. As we're running, hope everybody is having a great week. Hope everybody enjoyed the 5x from last week. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you got your 1,000 levels. If you didn't, about how many did you get? Be interested to see how everybody did. Punch Struck armor regen. I would grab this, put on weapon handling, or crit chance, depending on what you need. So either weapon handling or crit chance. But definitely worth grabbing those, especially for those like some of the one-shot builds would use it. Just using like open world one-shotting with pistols, super strong piece. So grab one of those, and we will move on over here to the theater and see what we got going on over here.
Want it? I got it.
As for over here, we've got the Whisper. I would skip. If you need the rifle damage for rifles, grab that. But I would skip it for anything else. So personally, I think theater is a no-go this week. Jumping over here to the DZ East. Got just a little quick run over here. We do have a new global event this week, so make sure you jump on and get those stars. This is the reanimated week, so it's all about getting those headshots. Public executions are still off limits doing those because it kills hostages, so you got to be careful with that. But pretty much anything else is fairly easy. So those one-shot builds with one-shot sniper builds are super beneficial here. White Death, if you don't have it, this is perfect. Grab that. You can either leave the damage to armor, you can roll target at cover, but leave that with determined, or you can get yourself an SR1 with determined. It's super strong and has a little bit more max space. I max LMG, but get that at countdown. Don't worry about that.
Hostile supply convoy.
Alright, that is going to be it for here. We'll head on over to the south. So, if you need the White Death, grab it out of the east. Otherwise, skip it. Get it out of countdown.
You know you want to.
Over here at south, we've got strategic alignment. Get that out of countdown. Don't waste your time with this one, even though it is literally the perfect piece. If you have the credits, it'd be worth getting it. But if you don't worry about it. Just get it out of countdown. But that is exactly how I have rolled on mine. Side effect, skill damage. You could even roll off the status effect and put on armor regen. I use that on my legendary skill build. But leaving it as is would be wonderful too. Y'all chest with obliterate armor regen. Not a horrible piece. It's actually a pretty solid piece. You could either leave the headshot on it, you could put chance on it. Super strong piece actually. I'd have to look and see what I have for my chest pieces, but I may be back for that one. We will head on over to the west and see what we got going on over. Alright, over here at the west, we'll see what we got going on. And we've got a Baker's Dozen. No. No. I'm contemplating a couple pieces there, but I wouldn't worry about it. So, got a pretty good handful of items there. I'll definitely have to go back and make mental notes for those and add those to the description of today's video. But definitely got a much more beneficial week that we've had. So that's super cool.
Agent, I need to debrief with Schaefer. Kelso had to go. Said it was safer for us if she's not here.
No, I'd probably just skip everything there. I was kind of contemplating this Overlord chest with glass cannon, but that's a very specific piece.
Need anything combined soon.
AKM, light glue. If you need light glue for your proficiency, grab it. Flatline, police. No. Unless you need flatline for your library. Not a bad need to have. Already has the armor regen, crit chance. I try to get a Emperor Guard and roll it to a blue core, and it'll be better than this. But I mean, it's like a placeholder until you get that. This wouldn't be a bad piece to have. And nothing there. And we've got one more vendor over in Brooklyn to get to. So we'll jump back here to the White House and then jump over to Brooklyn. And I'll meet you over there. Alright. Last vendor for today is over here in Brooklyn. Just right around here to this corner. And we'll see what old Marcus has for us today. Nothing crazy. Nothing in Brooklyn this week, unfortunately. But without further ado, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Make sure you get those stars free animated if you haven't gotten them, if you are interested in doing that global event. But that'll be it for today. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate being here, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.